Hey friends, welcome back to my channel and another Prep With Me Sunday. This one, as I've said before, I am really excited for because this one is going to fall under the Three Rivers Pantry Challenge. I was able to go through my pantry, my freezers, and my refrigerator and plan my Prep With Me Sunday based off of what I had and what I needed to use. And I'm ashamed to say I really had no idea how much food is out in that pantry. Yeah, bad. So I need to use it up. I don't want to be wasteful, and that's what we're going to do. I was really excited to be able to do this and to be able to do it with you all. So the first one we're going to put together is actually a very easy one because we're going to leave it basically raw. We're not going to cook it. It's going to be a slow cooker beef stroganoff. So everything's just going to go into our handy dandy freezer Ziploc bag. I do have the bag marked. It says slow cooker beef stroganoff, 5 to 6 hours. Then add the noodles cooked and the sour cream. So I will add that to this package and it'll be a complete meal. It doesn't get any easier than that. So let's put this together. Okay, this one is super easy. So we're gonna dump out 4 cans of our cream of mushroom soup. All right, get our cream of mushroom soup in there. To that, we are also going to add an onion. This little dicer is just the best. And then to that, we're also going to add 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. I might have to open another one. We'll see. Nope. Perfect. We are also going to add a half a cup of water. We're going to add in 1 packet of Lipton onion soup mix. And then, of course, we've got to get some garlic in there. And you know how we roll around here, so we're going to add some garlic. Now I'm going to mix all of this up together before I add the beef to this. This smells really good. I've made beef stroganoff a million times. I have not made it this way. So this will be exciting to see the flavor profile that comes out of the crock pot when it's done. All right, it's mixed up good. Now to that, we're just going to add our stew beef. Got a couple good pounds of it there. And that's it. It's ready to go in the freezer bag. If you go by the instructions, it tells you to put it in your freezer bag and freeze it as flat as you can. Now, I don't know about any of your slow cookers, but I don't own a big flat square slow cooker. So I have a tip I want to share with you guys to make it easier to freeze and go directly from the freezer into your slow cooker without worrying about the shape of things. Check this out. I have this really nice oven. It's actually a Paula Deen, a casserole dish, and it's an oval shape. And I know that the slow cooker is this shape. So instead of freezing it flat, what I want to do is take my Ziploc bag. I'm going to fold the edge of it over, if you remember, And this is a lot, so we're gonna go slow doing this. But I want it to be the shape of this vessel, because frozen, that will be perfect for going into our crock pot. So I'm just gonna real carefully get this all in there. I'm actually going to use a big spoon to help me instead of trying to pour this, because I know myself and I will make a mess at this point. All right, got it all in there. I'm gonna let it take the shape as best it can to this pot. Let's take a lot of this air out. Yeah. And that is how I want this to freeze. So once this freezes in that shape, not flat, little round, I know this will fit in my crock pot when it's frozen, and that's perfect for me. And there you have it. Our instructions are on the bag. We have our egg noodles and our sour cream. When we're ready to make this, we will drop this bag in the slow cooker for 5 to 6 hours. We'll make the egg noodles right before it's done. We'll add a cup of sour cream to the cooked mixture and the egg noodles, and dinner's done. How fabulous is that? So next up, we are going to do our Indian butter chicken. And now this recipe can actually be adapted as a paleo recipe. And the recipe that I'm going to link in the description shows the substitutions of what to take out and what to use in place of to make it a paleo. I don't need that, so we're just going to keep it as is. This is another quick and easy one to put together. There is no cooking. Everything's going to go into the bag except for the coconut milk and the cilantro. The coconut milk will be added to this dish once it's all done cooking, and the cilantro will go on top. So let's put this one together. We have our chicken, and all I did is cube it, and I'm gonna actually set this off to the side for now because we want to focus on getting our other ingredients into this bowl mixed up, and then we'll add the chicken into that. So I've got my bag in a vessel to help keep it up, and to this I am going to add my tomato sauce. I am also going to add the chicken broth. Now I'm going to keep the coconut oil out and separate because oil doesn't freeze, so I will have this added to the meal when we cook it in the slow cooker. Now I'm going to add my spice blends, and this is the turmeric powder, sea salt, black pepper, cumin, and chili powder. So we're going to add that all in as well. I have my fresh grated ginger. We'll get that in there. Let's get that garlic. We love our garlic here. We're even going to add a little bit more. And again, if you remember, I was telling you about that garam masala spice that I do not have. So what I did do is do the mixture of the cumin and allspice, and I'm just going to measure out 2 teaspoons. And we'll add that in there. And then my neighbor actually gave me some limes, so I have limes. We're going to add the juice of a lime. And the best way to actually juice a lime is before you go to squeeze it out, roll it on the counter. Roll it all over. You want to get a separation of the rind to the flesh inside, and it makes it so much easier for juicing purposes. I think Julia Childs taught me that many years ago as well. All of our spices and our liquids in this bag, and I'm actually just going to mix it together. It's just in the Ziploc bag. I just use the vessel to hold it up. You can smell this. Like, this smells so exotic, and not in a tropical kind of way, like in definitely a Middle Eastern spice blend kind of way. This is actually going to be really good. I'm excited for this. Okay, so I've got everything mixed up, and now we're just going to add our chicken into this. Gonna kind of mix this up a bit, get all that chicken in there, and I actually did just wash my hands so they're nice and clean. And that's it. I have the instructions written on the bag. It's Indian butter chicken. I'm gonna thaw this and cook it on high 4 to 5 hours, or 2 to 3, whatever your machine is. When that is done cooking, you're going to add a half a cup of the coconut milk and some cilantro to top. And when you do go to put this in the slow cooker, you're going to want to add the coconut oil then to it. So, easy peasy. Another meal down. Get the air out with my rolling method, which works so good. There. Now this one can stay flat because we're going to freeze it and let it thaw. So again, Indian butter chicken, when it's time to cook it, we'll add our coconut oil to it then. When it's done cooking, we're going to add in the half a cup of our coconut milk. That'll make it nice and creamy. And this can be served over white rice. You could just have it as is with a salad, but I think it would be fabulous over white rice. So that's what we're gonna do when the time comes for this. So that's 2 down, 2 to go. Let's move this right along. The next one is a real, true comfort meal. I love a good chicken pot pie, especially if it's homemade. I remember growing up, we were not rich at all, and my mom would get those 50-cent banquet pot pie meals, and oh, I just loved it when she made those. That was one of my favorite dinners ever. Don't ever try to make me eat tuna tempeh, which is tuna casserole, because that'll never ever happen. I've had enough of that stuff. But chicken pot pie, I love. And this is going to be like a semi-homemade one, which I really like because it's super easy to throw together and have in the freezer. None of these meals that we're actually putting together today are very time consuming, and that's just another added bonus. And what I actually did last night was, while I was cooking our dinner, I just took the chicken breasts and popped them in the oven so that they are all ready. I just had to dice them up, and now we're ready to put everything together and get our frozen pot pie ready for the freezer. Are you ready? I know I am. Let's do this. Found a couple deep dish pie crusts in the back of my freezer. I just opened them. One of them is shattered completely. This one's fine. But then I have the rolled Pillsbury pie dough. So basically what I did is just take out an extra one, and I'll be able to make a new bottom for the one that broke that we will use for our last dish. But this is gonna be perfect for our dish now. So set that aside. We have our bowl. Let's put this together. So I made my gravy using my Better Than Bouillon, and I just make a slurry and add it to that with a little bit of seasonings. So I'm gonna get this in there. It's a little bit warmer than I would like. So I think we're actually just gonna leave this for a minute and just let it cool off for a second, and then we'll come right back to it. And so we have our chicken gravy in here, and I'm gonna add our cooked, diced up chicken. And again, it just made sense for me to do this last night. My oven was already on. I didn't have to turn it on special to do it. I was already cooking my dinner, so it just made sense for me to cook it last night. Now to this, we're gonna add about 16 ounces, which is half of this bag of our frozen diced hash browns. We're gonna add a whole bag of frozen peas and carrots. We're gonna add a little bit of onion. And we're just gonna put in some salt and pepper to taste. So I'm just gonna give it a little zhoosh now. And we will add a little bit of the pepper. And then we're just going to get a nice big spoon, stir all of this up. Doesn't that look delicious? And how easy is this? I guess it's so easy you could almost make it the night that you needed to, that you were busy, but this just makes it even better. All right, so we have that stirred up. We're gonna take our deep dish pie crust, and to that we are going to put this mixture in. I don't know if it's gonna take all of this mixture or what, so we'll have to see. Might be making another little one. I think that's about all that this is gonna do. And that's fine. It did leave some. That's totally fine. We will actually have this tonight for dinner. I have no problem with that. So, all right, we have our pie. Now we need to put a top on it. Let's move our pie over. I'm gonna unroll my Pillsbury Pie Crust. These things are great. I love keeping these in my freezer. I've always kept them in my freezer. They just make it so easy when you need to make a meal in a rush, or a pie, or anything. Now, because this is already a frozen pie crust that's already molded, basically what I do is turn this under and kind of push it down, as you can see, to the frozen pie crust. This isn't about pretty, people. This is about what tastes good. And I am not an expert in the pie department, nor am I an expert to make it look pretty. But I can make it taste really good. This actually works out really good. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have a little crust on the edge, but I actually like a little crust with my pie. You just want to make sure you go around and press the edges together. And you can even take a little fork if you want and just go around the edge. Push that right down, right on top of the frozen pie crust. This isn't gonna win any contests for beauty, but it might win one for taste. There. And now you have to create some vents. to let the steam out when this is cooking. And that's it. Chicken pot pie ready for the freezer. My goodness, this looks so good. Now, I'm not gonna put an egg wash on this for the freezer, but what I would do is when I take this out to cook it, absolutely put an egg wash over it at that time. It just gives the pie crust a really nice golden color to it. It just makes it look better. If you don't do it, it's kind of going to come out looking like just cooked dough. If you do use it, it'll come out with a little shine, a little brown. It'll look really good. So egg wash this before you cook it. And that's 3 down. How easy is this Prep With Me Sunday going? We are on to our last dish. Now, in our house, we've been eating shepherd's pie for years, but our shepherd's pie is definitely not a traditional Irish shepherd's pie. We've always had it with ground chuck, ground hamburg. I think my mom did it once with like ground chicken, which, don't do that. But yeah, we do the Hamburg version. And I really, really wanted to make an authentic, traditional shepherd's pie, but a real shepherd's pie contains ground lamb. Now, I have never in my life tasted lamb. It's not something I want to try. Lambs are cute. I don't need to eat one. There's plenty of other choices of meat and protein out there for me. Lamb is not on there. So I asked my daughter, do you want to try it with the lamb? And she was like, no, Mom, please. Stick to the ground hamburg. But what I am going to do is I'm going to add everything for their traditional shepherd's pie except for the ground lamb. There's stuff in here I would never think to remotely put in a shepherd's pie, including a Guinness beer, which, if you remember, I told you we had a random one downstairs. I brought it up. I mean, it's a lot more than what I need. And whoever left this at my house, I'm very sorry to say it will not be here when you return. I'm going to use what I need for the recipe, and I'm going to dump the rest down the sink. I don't drink beer, that's for sure. So I'm kind of really excited to see this come together. And I'm just quickly looking. I actually already cooked my ground beef. I did that this morning. I wanted to get that out of the way. I was gonna do it last night when I threw the chicken breasts in with our dinner, and I said, you know what, that's easy enough. I can just cook that up in the morning. So we've got that. Let me see what else we need. I think we're good to go. Now, my deep dish, other pie plate, it broke. These are the pieces of it. It was shattered in here. So fortunately for me, I do keep Pillsbury Pie Crust in my freezer. I've now depleted my stock. I'm going to have to get some more. But I'm grateful that I have this and that I'm able to just make another bottom. So we're just gonna open this up, and I'm just gonna lay this in the pan, and that'll be our bottom. And now let's get going with this recipe. I think what I want to do first is I want to do the mashed potato part. Again, I actually cooked these up this morning when I did the hamburg just to get it out of the way. It's just 2 pounds of russet potatoes that I boiled on the stove, add a little salt to the water, and now they're ready to get mixed up. So let's put this last dish together. I kind of feel like I'm cheating or something today. I feel like I haven't done enough steps and enough meals or something, but I have. We have 3 down, and this is 1 more to go. I'm not doing 5 this week because I know they're going out to eat. They only need 4, so this works out great. Let's get those potatoes going. I added my warmed milk to this bowl. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of non-salted butter. And we are going to add some salt and a little bit of our pepper. And I'm going to use my hand mixer, and we're just going to mix this up. Okay, so our potatoes are nice and creamy. You do not want to overwork the mashed potatoes. You turn the gluten in them basically to glue. So we want to stop. They're nice and creamy. And now we're going to assemble our traditional, almost traditional, shepherd's pie. All right, even though it is already cooked, I am adding my ground beef back to the skillet with some onion. And then to this, we are going to add in some garlic and some thyme. And you know the drill, you know how we roll. We love garlic in this house. Alright, so now for this, we're just going to let this cook for about 3 minutes, warm everything back up. I guess I really could have waited to cook up the hamburger, but I was just really trying to stay ahead of things today because my husband has gone to go get an antique hutch that we were able to find, a new china cabinet, kind of along the same style as the buffet that I just showed you guys from the Illinois Cabinet Company. And the best part about this is it was marked down to $40. So I'm hoping it's a good deal. We'll see when he comes back. I'm very excited. All right, we're just gonna let this go for a few minutes, and then we're gonna add some tomato paste, or as Ryder would say, tomato paste, Nana. It's tomato. He was so funny yesterday. I actually said the word potato in a sentence to someone, and he was on the floor coloring, and without missing a beat, the kid was just like, potato, Nana, potato. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so cute, kid. I just want to eat him up. So, all right, just let this go for a few minutes, and we will get some tomato paste in there. It smells amazing. And this, along with the stew beef that we used, is from our cow from Greener Pastures LLC in Westport, Massachusetts. I will again link their Facebook profile in the description with the recipes for today, because they are a great resource for locally sourced meat. They also have chickens. You don't have to buy a whole cow. You can buy bits and pieces. You can buy one steak. They'll accommodate you any way you want. So let this go, and we'll get on to the next step. Oh, this smells so good. It's been a few minutes, and I don't want my garlic to burn, so I've got my tomato paste. We're going to mix this up real good. Turn this heat down a bit. It's kind of hard to mix tomato paste in like this, but you want to do it as best as you can. It's been a few minutes. We've got it as incorporated as we can get it at this point, and now it's time to add some more ingredients. So we're going to add our carrots and our parsnips. We are going to add our beef stock. We're going to add our Guinness beer. We're going to add some Worcestershire. And we're going to get some peas in there. We're going to mix this all up gently. And we're going to let this simmer uncovered for about 20-25 minutes. You just kind of want to get the parsnips a little bit tender, the carrots a little bit tender. Remember, this is going to be a freezer meal, so it's going to cook later as well. And we also want some of this liquid to evaporate itself. So that's what we're going to do. And then I have changed my mind completely about the pie plate that this is going to go in. I was going to put it on a crust on the bottom, and I'm just not. This is going to make a lot, so I'm actually going to put it in one of those amazing Pyrex pans that I bought. And this is going to be good. I've actually never had it with beer. I must sneak a little taste. Yeah, no, I don't like beer. It's got to cook down a little bit. So, I'm just going to let this simmer for 20 to 25 minutes, and then we'll be ready to put it in the pan. How colorful and beautiful. How colorful and beautiful is this dish? Looks like the perfect winter dish. I'm very excited. All right, it's been about 25 minutes and the majority of the liquid has been absorbed. So it's time to get this baby ready for the freezer. Let's get it in its pan. All right, so instead of putting it in the pie plate and getting fancy like I was going to, we're just gonna add this right into my Pyrex pan. I think this is better anyways, more traditional. I'm just gonna spread that meat out nice. Look at all those gorgeous colors in there. And it smells amazing. We're gonna take our potatoes, and I was gonna get fancy with them, but you know what? I'm not. We're just gonna get them in there. Just kind of spread it around best we can. They're sticky, so it's not easy. And there you have it. And I think just because it wouldn't be me if I didn't, I'm just gonna add a sprinkle of some parsley on top and make it pretty. Oh, it smells so good. How delicious does this look? 4 meals, ready to go. We are done. Do you believe that? I know I can. I really feel like I didn't do anything today. This was probably the easiest Prep With Me Sunday I've done yet. And the fact that I was able to use all of my ingredients except for 3. Cilantro, parsnips, and coconut milk. Win, win, win. Another successful pantry challenge with 4 amazing meals ready to go for next week. Easy peasy, awesome. So now I just need to get these ready for the freezer. I need to wrap up my chicken pot pie, and I need to put the cover on the shepherd's pie. That one does go to the top this time, so I may or may not put the plastic on. I think I will, just because it gives it another layer of protection. So I'll put the plastic and then I'll pop the lid on. I'm gonna wrap my chicken pot pie really good in saran wrap, and then in that I'm gonna put foil, and I'm just gonna write on the outside how you need to heat it up and at what temperature. Everything is cooked as far as these 2 items go. These 2 slow cooker meals are not cooked. They're gonna cook in the slow cooker, but everything is together. You just have to dump it out. And don't forget my tip. if you have something that you want to freeze to go into your crock pot, don't freeze it flat. Find a vessel that's shaped similar to your crock pot, set your item in there, and let it take that shape, because it's much easier dropping this frozen into a crock pot to cook than it is to, say, take a flat rectangle piece and try to stick it in there. You'd have to break it up or let it thaw or something. So this is just a super cheat that's really good to freeze a crock pot meal that has a lot of liquid in it. So don't forget that. It's my little tip from me to you. So again, I want to thank you so much for joining me for our Prep With Me Sunday. I really look forward to this time in the kitchen with you guys and these fabulous meals. And somebody had suggested I look into some pierogi meals, so I am going to be looking into that for our next Prep With Me. It's fun picking out recipes, but I think I would like to try to, again, next week, use what I have and try to deplete the stock here. I know I've heard a lot of things about the trucker convoy starting March 1st. I don't know if it's true or not, but I do think I'm going to go to the store and just stock up on a few essentials just in case. I don't want to be caught without anything that I could possibly need. While I admire what they're doing for us, it also puts all of us in an awful position when we're trying to provide for our families. So this is where homesteading and having your own food and your own harvests play a really big role in things. And I'm looking forward to the fact that I'll have a garden next year. I don't know what I'll get from it, but you gotta start somewhere, right? So again, thank you so much for hanging with me on this Sunday as we did our prep for these delicious, amazing meals. Yay! We did it! It was really fun. I love this time with you guys. And don't forget, don't hate, appreciate. Let's lift each other up. There's too much other stuff going on in the world right now. But before I go, I want to show you a sneak peek. That cabinet just made it to my house, and I'm really excited to get to it, so follow me. All right, let's take a walk down the hallway because this is where it's waiting. So this is what my husband just went to get for me. There are lights inside. It does have a little bit of hardware that needs to be replaced. As you can see, it's missing the knob on that door. It doesn't have one like that does. And the veneer on the bottom in the front, as you can see, there is a little bit of damage there to that. So that's something that we are definitely going to be pulling off and replacing it. But other than that, it's really in a fabulous condition. I love the drawers that are in there. I can just see that's a great spot for my linens and maybe some kitchen gadgets I don't necessarily have room for. And then 3 amazing shelves in there so I can put all my tchotchkes and my china, my plates, and just arrange it really super cute. So I'm really excited for that piece. And I hate to tell ya, but I'm gonna paint it. I know you guys don't like it when I say that, but I am. I'm letting you know now. So again, thank you so much for hanging with me. I had a great time. I really look forward to our Sundays together, and I will see you next Sunday for Prep With Me. I'm sure I'll see you before then. I have some interesting things to show you. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I will see you guys real soon.